Well, good afternoon, Americans. How you doing? And yes, I am gonna go there, as you saw from the title of my video. It's toxic feminism. That's the problem, not toxic masculinity. All right. The problem with toxic feminism is they actually created more toxic masculinity, and not because anything we did, is because of all the stuff you have done. I always say, you go out of God's natural order, you will get nothing but chaos and disorder. Now, for years, I grew up in a house full of females, two sisters and a mom. Even all my pets were females, dogs, cats. I think I might have had one cat that was a male, but they were all female. Even my birds, female. Now I live with a wife and a daughter, so I've been surrounded by females, and of course, they read these magazines, they get these magazines, women's magazines, everything from why can't we have it all, or why are we relegated to this, or how to get your eighth orgasm in one night, and God knows, man, these magazines have just, I think, destroyed women's minds more than anything else. I mean, so I used to pick them up once in a while just because, what the hell are they talking about? For years, these magazines, they told women years ago when I was younger, I said, why should we delegate to the home only? Why can't we go out and work for a living? Why should we get stuck cooking, cleaning, doing laundry, and taking care of the kids? So then, women got more into the workforce. And then the magazine was saying, why should we be just relegated to the workforce? Why can't we both have a family life and be a working mother? Okay, so years later, they got both. And then the articles were, now that we are working and both career moms and moms, things are just too stressful. It is just too hard to keep up. And it's like, oh my goodness, can they make up their minds? But hey, this is how the devil works. You fill their minds with crap when we don't know God's word. I'm sorry for all you haters out there. God's ways always come back full forth. And you know what was happening? When they got both, they were working and coming home cooking, cleaning, doing laundry anyway. And you can't have your husband do all the cooking, cleaning, doing laundry, and childbearing because he's out working too. Something had to give. I mean, you were doing less work when you're at home doing the traditional work of cooking, cleaning, doing laundry, and taking care of the kids and running around doing all the grocery shopping. When you went to the workforce and wanted both, you took on more. Like I said, if the husband's out working too, he cannot do the role you were doing at home because you wanted his role also. So you got stuck doing it anyway. And of course, for years the complaint was, all you do is go to work and you come home and you relax all day. Okay, and you were home all day to do all this stuff. Now, I'm not saying men should have no chores. Men definitely do have chores. I mean, they're just some things we can do better because of our natural physical ability that God gave us, the way God made us for a reason. Like when my wife cleans, she does light clean. I don't expect her to lift the furniture and turn over the couches, and I do that. I do a seasonal clean, deep clean for her, and then she comes home, she does the light clean. That's what we do, because I don't expect my itty-bitty wife to be able to do what I do. Because you know why? She wasn't built that way. It's not the way God made woman. All right? And there's just some things women are going to do better at than men are because God created them that way. There's just some things my wife's going to be able to talk to my wife better than me with my daughter than me because that's the way God made her. And there's some things I'm going to do better with my daughter than my wife because that's the way God made me. Right? There's a reason why God gave two parents. They need those two types of love. But anyway, let's get back to this. So, the feminist was always what we always went to work. We came home, we did nothing, which wasn't true. Maybe, and well, in some cases it was. There's always exceptions to the rules. But I mean, if he's making all the money and he's paying all the bills and he's budgeting, he's doing all this stuff, well, then you should be doing all that stuff. You're home. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't get any help. We don't deserve a break because you certainly do, but don't complain when he's out working all day so you guys can live and eat. Then came, this is my favorite part now, we don't need a man in our life. Be your own girl boss. Do this by yourself. You don't need a man. We got toys for that now. You don't need him for that anymore. Okay. So now women were doing this and they became lonely, depressed. And because biology kicks in, God made women and men for a reason. And then they decide, you know what? I'm going to have children. I don't need a man for that. I'll just get myself one of them sperm banks. Well, they did that. And guess what? They had to go support their kids and find a babysitter and pay them and take on the stresses of working, which there's a reason why God made men to go in the workforce, because we were built for it better. Now, there are always going to be exceptions to the rules for you little crybabies out there. There are exceptions to rules. But for the most part, that was what your rule was and what our rule is for. But guess what? After work, you had to come home, right, and take care of your kid. And you had to cook, you had to clean, and you had to do laundry anyway. So what did you gain by pushing the so-called patriarch out of the way? You got to do everything by yourself without the help of a man, and now it's becoming too much. So you decide, you know what? I'll just have a live-in boyfriend. The problem with having a live-in boyfriend is it's not the same as being married, because when you're married, you have that commitment with each other, and you made that covenant with God that you're going to take care of each other either way. When you just live together, you can leave anytime you want, and it's not a test run for anything. This is not a test run. When you get married, it's a life run. You run together, you do everything together, you make decisions together. When either one of you has the option to leave anytime you want, it's not a practice run. And you give yourself the wrong perception of what marriage really is. So then you decide, you know what? We'll have gay marriage. I don't have to deal with a man. I can have another woman be there with me. We can raise children together. Well, the problem is women usually think the same. Again, always exceptions. So who takes on the man role? Who takes on the woman role? Whoever takes on the man role, she wasn't designed to be part of the man role. And when she doesn't deliver, are you mad at her for not being man enough when you wanted to avoid the man in the first place? Do you want the woman to do, who's taking on the roles of man, to go to work and come home and help you cook, clean, and take care of the kids when you said you didn't need a man for that anyway? See, either way, no matter what you do, no matter how you try to push God away, it's never going to work. It's going to reset itself. And now we're seeing all these crying Gen Zers who were taught by feminists that you need to be your own girl boss. Forget the traditional role. Forget how God had made you. Be the person we want you to be, not how God made you. Whereas we're seeing, and we have a lot of these girls crying, and the guys too, but most of the girls, I can't handle going to work. I got this college degree. I'm dead broke. I can't. I don't see my friends. Guess what? Thank you, feminists, for that. Because not only are you working and not coming home, still doing your own cooking, cleaning, and laundry, you don't have no companionship because the feminist told you you didn't need one, or we were too masculine. And now you have a lot of these young women that says, I just want to come home and just take care of a house and raise children. And just, wow. You mean you want the Gen Zers want the role of what the baby boomer women did and the ones before then. Things always come back full circle. You can push God out of the way all you want. Eventually, God's ways always win. So for you women out there, do yourself a favor. Stop letting the feminists tell you what you're supposed to be. Pick up a book, aka the Bible, and know the role God wants you to have in the home, or the role He wants you to have before you find a husband. I just can't believe the amount of stuff I now see on videos, especially on TikTok, because that's a Gen Z thing. And how they complain they don't want to work, they can't handle it. They can't handle the job the feminists work so hard to get them into and to keep them out of. And they're ended up doing everything anyway because, well, let's face it, a real man is not going to be attracted to a toxic feminist. We're not. So Gen Zers, thank the baby boomers, the women from the baby boom era, for making things worse for you guys. Now, there are other factors in it. The economy sucks, but, as I said, the basic principles of math and economics that never change, no matter whether things are good or bad. But the toxic feminism, has caused a lot of the damage. Not toxic masculinity, because you didn't want us in the way. You didn't want us paying for dinner. You didn't want us holding the door open for you. You said you didn't need us in the home. You needed us for having children. Well, you got what you wanted. You know what? How's it working out for you? And baby boomer feminist who started this crap, how's it working out for you? How do you feel about destroying a couple generations of women and confusing them? You have a lot to be accountable for. And on top of that, the feminists like to say there's toxic masculinity. Okay. Usually when things go wrong, you want a so-called toxic masculine man around to do the dirty work you can't do. And guarantee you'll be the first ones to die between our legs when things go wrong. Well, how come you're not being a man? I thought you didn't need a man, honey. We all have equal, right? We have all equality. Well, then accept the consequences of being equal. Do it your damn self. You don't need me until you do need me. Well, I don't want to do it for you, honey. Boomerangs always come back. Boomerangs always come back. Comments down below what your opinion I'd like to know. Pick up a Bible, everyone. Read it. Know your role with God. Know your role in the home. Know your role. Understanding who you are and love who you are. Do not be afraid to be who you are. I don't care what a man says or what a woman says or what the toxic feminist says. Keep the country in prayer. Jesus Christ is still king, and we'll talk to you later.